Kamala Harris, why is she in my DM? Huh? She stay in my DM. Oh, y'all be thinking I'm playing. I'm not playing. Kamala Harris. She in my DM, bitch.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. And yes, I'm your boy AT2. How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling today? What's up, everybody? Yes, I am back home. It feels good to be home in your own bed. I didn't mind the bed at the, hotel, but, it's nothing like your own bed. It's already, not comfort, but it's more comfortable to be in your own bed, y'all. But let me say what's up to my people before I start the show. What's up, Poetic? What's up, Kiki? Thank you, Kiki, again. What's up, Miss Kitty Cat? Coochie don't fail me now. I don't know why that was the first thing I thought about. What's up, Miss Kitty? Coochie don't fail me now. What's up, V? How you doing? What's up, Nubian? How you doing? What's up, Andrea? What's up, Mouth TV? What's up, Miss Sweetie? What's up, Mary D? Okay, so it didn't get canceled. What happened was that they transferred it to a different driver, so it was able to get worked out. See, that's why I only tipped them $1, and I'll wait until they get closer to my house to actually fully tip them because they be pulling some. I swear. What's up, Conversation Party? How you doing? What's up, Dennis? How you doing? What's up, everybody? Booty bumping associates back into your spin. Oh, okay. I was all like, wait, who what is going on? Hello, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Okay. I know y'all been wanting me to talk about, well, some people been all like, can we stop talking about TGIF? But trust me, we can move on from TGIF after I say what I'm going to say. But, while I was in Reno, I did a response video, right? To all the leaks and everything like that. I didn't realize, and call me dumb, I didn't realize the whole thing. I did find my underwear, thank you. The whole thing about the leaks and shit like that, that was a response to my interview with Shawn. I didn't even put two and two together, y'all. Call me stupid. How many of y'all knew those leaks was a response to the interview? Put a 2 in the chat. You had no idea that was a response to the interview with Shawn. What's up, Logic? I had no idea. I was all like, oh, that's why the leaks came out. I just thought, shit, people was just putting out leaks. I didn't know that my interview had a reaction. I seen it on Twitter. And yeah, okay, Renee didn't know. Okay, Poetic knew. Okay, V knew. Mary didn't. Yvette didn't. Okay, Tori said I didn't. King Coop said I did. I knew it. It felt intentional. Oh, y'all, I was dumbfounded. I had no clue it was a reaction. I just thought, somebody was all like, okay, well, since the TGIF is hot, I'm gonna go ahead and leak this out. That's what I was thinking. But no, it was a direct response. Okay, I did. CTV said so. Oh, okay. See, I didn't know. Because the only people that while I was on vacation, I had watched Sherelle's video, right? Because somebody was like, oh, you got to watch it because she gave you a shout out and stuff like that. So I watched her video. But I really didn't except watching Aaron and CTV, I didn't watch everybody else because I just wanted to watch the leaks and give my own perception before watching everybody else. So I didn't really watch the commentary. I just fast forward to where the video, the Zoom call leaks and stuff like that. And then that's where I left it. I didn't, pick up on, oh no, they was upset over what happened. Well, not them, not Aaron or CTV. Claudia was upset. It was all like, oh, you want to play games? Well, here you go. I was all like, okay. It is what it is. And by the way, I'm not, at least for me, I'm not fighting with any of the content creators. Y'all can be team, yes, shout out to Michelle ATLian too. Y'all can be team Claudia, team Armon, team Al, hell, team AT2. I don't care at the end of the day. I'm not going to fight with content creators, and I think we're all kind of on the same page. We're not fighting with each other. Like, this is just content at the end of the day. Like, I really don't care any of these motherfuckers, just between me and you. But anyway, so yeah, I'm team let them hoes fight. And we just talking about it, let them hoes fight. Called you the Godfather of YouTube. Thank you. Yes. Shout out to Sherelle and Perry. But anyway, so all this has been going down, and then I got a time to really watch everybody. Shout out to Michelle ATLian Brown. Shout out to Couture Bay. They've been doing a great job covering it. Shout out to everyone else. So I got to finally catch up. And shout out to Make It Make Sense too. I watched them earlier. So anyway, now I the other day was kind of going off because everybody was all mad at me. It was all like, oh, you interviewed Shawn and you gave him a platform to lie, blah, blah, blah. Listen, it wasn't like a setup like, oh yeah, Shawn, come on here and lie on my platform. And again, he's telling his story. I can't say that he's lying. He is telling his story. Again, everybody's going to have their own story. What's up, Princess? Everybody's going to have their own story. I can't put words in their mouth and I can't make them say anything. He was telling his story. Now, I am cool with you guys saying, I don't believe him, he's a liar, all this. I don't mind that. But you can't say, it's my fault and I should have never had him on my platform and all this other. Like, I'm all like, where are y'all? Huh? I'm a journalist. Did I go to school for journalism? No. But I consider myself a journalist now. I got to get all sides and all perspectives. I've talked to Claudia before. So Claudia could have DM'd me and was like, hey, T2, a lot of that stuff he said was not true, blah, blah, blah. We've had communication before, so Claudia could have DM'd me. Funky Dineva, I've never talked to, but he could DM me. Armon, I have never talked to him. He can DM me, but I know he's not too much a fan of me, but that's a different story for a different day. But he could DM me. Al has been in my chat. Shout out to Al. Al's in Napa right now eating grapes and grape poupon and all that rich shit that he likes to do. He bougie. He does all that. So he's been in my chat a couple of times. So if there was something wrong, he can DM me or talk to me. Everybody has access to AT2. Even you guys have access to me and can reach out to me and stuff like that, So if there's something wrong, we can clear it up. But again, Shawn is telling his story, or what he believes to be true from his friend Al. Now, if Al is lying to him, or maybe he's just making it up because he's trying to get some clout, that's on him at the end of the day. This is for us to make a decision on whether or not we believe it. And again, I believe there's all sides to a story. So I believe part of Shawn, I believe part of Claudia, I believe part of Funky, and I believe part of Armon. Now, the person that I want to interview and make it make sense was all like, no, you better not. The person I want to interview is Miss Joyce, because Joyce was getting hollered and yelled at by these ghetto banshee hood rats, talking about Claudia, Armon, and Al. And that poor old woman. Listen, she about 69 years old. Her poor heart can't take all that yelling and screaming they was doing at that poor old lady. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I feel bad for her. Now I want not Shawn. I want Joyce. I want to interview Miss Joyce. That's what we need. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear from Miss Joyce, because I believe that's who really got the tea. Miss Joyce is a classy lady. She ain't used to all that ghetto hood rat banshee shit. Like, she don't know nothing about that. That lady drink her Ensure with her pinkies up. She's not all about all that ghetto hood rat that they was, yelling and screaming at her about. How dare you yell at somebody's grandma? Shout out to Grandma Joy sipping on sweet tea. How dare you yell at somebody's grandma like that? That is disgusting. Oh my God. Oh, disgusting. Ew. What's up, Michelle? I gave you a shout out too. But yeah, they was yelling at that poor sweet old woman. Now, is that poor sweet old woman messy? More than likely. But but shit, they was yelling at that poor old lady. They should be ashamed of themselves. Like I said, if that was my grandma getting yelled at, I would have slapped all in a row. Shout out to all the grandmas out there. Can we put some hearts in the chat for the grandmas? I don't have my grandparents no more, so I miss them. So let's go ahead and do a 30-second countdown where we put some hearts in the chat for the grandparents living and not living. Also for the great-grandparents, too. Shout out to them. Yeah, shout out to all the grandpas out there. Thank you. Yeah, I'm all like, what is going on? What's up, grown woman? But yeah, I like the way they yelled at that lady. Now, was she messy? Yeah. But honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't think that probably wasn't her passion. And this is just me making an assumption, you guys. I think that she looked at that show and was like, I can't believe I'm doing this Zoom call show. She was all like, all this drama, and you niggas is on Zoom yelling and screaming? Like, she was all like, oh, this ain't enough money. So I think Joyce, we got to be fair. I think Joyce went in there and was all like, I don't care about this show. I'm going to get my little paycheck and then call it a day. If they want to be up in here fighting and screaming, let them fight and scream. I'm going to treat them just how they treat me. So she didn't care. No. And so she was all like, yeah, let them fight, whatever. She probably came because she was new. She came into a situation that was already shit. Let's be honest. Let's put it all out there. That situation was probably already going down the tube and everything before Joyce got there. And so when she realized, she was like, this is below me. I'm an Emmy winner. Why am I dealing with these? Who are these people? As soon as she seen the cast or the host for the show, she was like, let me Google them. She Googled them. It was all like, oh, these are nobodies. Yo! I ain't even trying to go in, y'all. I ain't trying to go in that bad. But damn, I gotta be honest. That's what she said, y'all. She was all like, who are these people? Why am I doing this? This is below my pay grade. And then she thought this was going to be on like Fox, right? No, it's going to be on Fox Soul. They tricked the lady because that lady probably couldn't read. She didn't have her readers on when she read that contract. And that contract said Fox, but the soul part was so small. And then she realized, it was Fox. And she was like, Fox Soul? What's that? And then they were like, yeah, we got this show. It's called TGIF. You're going to have 3 great hosts with you. And she was like, oh, who you going to have? There's all like, correction, flop, so, right. She was like, okay, who's the host on the show? They go like, oh, we have Al Reynolds. And she was like, who? And they were like, oh, you don't know who Al Reynolds is? Okay, we got one better. We got Claudia Jordan. She's like, who? And then they were like, okay, you don't know who Claudia is? Okay, who's the other one? And then they were all like, okay, we got Armon Wiggins. And then she was like, she almost quit right there. But you know what? Joyce is a nice lady. She didn't have no other jobs lined up. So she was like, you know what? I'll just take it. She was confused and befuddled because she didn't know who these nobodies were. But somehow they, she signed on for the show. Now, Joyce, Miss Joyce, if you did not want to do the show, you should have just said that. Because I know Joyce didn't want to do the show. Hell, the host didn't even want to do the show no more. So Joyce didn't want to do the show. So I know I'm going to get dragged in the morning, y'all. I just know it. And so nobody else wanted to do it, So I'm like, Joyce was like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and rock with it. And then Joyce, I believe that she was trying to give them pointers on what they can do to make it a better show. I don't think they were receptive to it. This is what I think also probably played a role into Fox Soul getting canceled. I think she can, have y'all ever had a job where they switch up the higher management? I'm not just talking about a little supervisor, like the director and stuff like that. Have y'all ever been at a job where they switched up like the higher management? Put a 1 in the chat. Because what I'm assuming is that what happened was she came with new, fresh ideas because she came from like actual TV and she didn't realize this wasn't TV, homie. This is Zoom. So because it's Zoom, it's not going to work the same way you thought it was. And she was all like, okay, well, I'm just going to treat this job like shit, just like y'all treat it like shit. I believe that's really the truth. This is me being unbiased and everything. I believe that's the truth. She looked at it and was all like, okay, well, y'all don't care nothing about the show. I ain't going to care nothing about the show. So it is what it is. Oh, Miss Harriet, that's happening to you right now. Yeah. Yeah. They're going to be mad. You can tell leadership changed last summer. The whole channel changed. It was crazy. Right, Papa? You're right. You're right. Here was her opportunity to work from home. Exactly. She was like, you know what? I'm slowing down. I just need to work from home. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate the cash up. Yeah. She was all like, I just need to work from home. Like, I'm getting tired. Listen, Joyce is getting ready to retire. She wasn't trying to have no stress. And them ninjas was stressing her out. That's how she felt. So, also, shout out to Michelle because, like, okay, with the leaks, right? Okay, you can take the leaks and look at them like, okay, they vindicated Claudia and Armon. You can look at it that way. And I think there's some nuance to it. But one thing I need, like we said before, I need to see the whole call in its entirety. 2, I also feel another kind of way that as a professional, you would release these calls. Yeah, you want to prove a point or prove this or prove that. Why would you leak it though? That's very unprofessional. Imagine you guys having a meeting at work and then all of a sudden you turn on YouTube and you see your leaked meeting online. What? Huh? Where they do that at? Like, that's not how you do like a professional. That's not how you do that. If anything, because even now, I feel that there's people who are Team Claudia, Team Armon, Team Al. I don't feel like the Zoom call actually changed anybody's opinion. We just now know that they all full of shit. Like, that's what it confirmed to me. It just confirmed all of them was full of shit. Like, nobody was innocent in it. Now, like I said, Armon bears the less responsibility. I do think Armon came into a situation that was already womp, 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 womp. It was already down the tube. Now, did he help try to rebuild it or make it, better than what it is? No, I think he just kind of conformed to the BS because of the people that he was already dealing with, to be fair. And also, there's a way to deal with things professionally. One of the questions that I have, were their managers at least allowed to be in meetings and stuff like that? I don't know if Armon has a manager. I'm pretty sure Al does. Like, where were their managers to really do the, heavy lifting and really get in there and do things for them? Because if I'm a star, I'm letting my manager or my representative handle all that stuff. I'm the talent. Like Al got on there and was yelling and screaming, I'm the talent. No, if I'm the talent, I'm going to have, my manager deal with these people. I'm not going to let you talk to me or try to sun me or, these Zoom calls. It's crazy. And the petty stuff, again, you guys literally try to pull Armon on one side or the other side, talking about Al and Claudia, try to get them on your side, and then it ended up just making the situation worse. Claudia recorded the calls. You can clearly see her hands moving when she's speaking. Oh, yeah, because I know a lot of people were blaming it on Justin, and then a lot of people were blaming it on Claudia. I figure it's one of the two. It's only obvious it's one of the two. Because Armon said on his Twitter, he said, I'm not talking about TGIF no more. He's done with it. He said something to the effect of that, like he's done with it. So I don't think it was Armon. And remember, Armon was supposed to talk to Funky. Did Funky and Armon ever talk and squash it? Or were they gonna not, make it public and it was just gonna be a thing? Like, I wonder what happened with that conversation. Oh, did somebody answer it? Armon admitted Funky gave him background info. He refused to take Claudia's calls when they first started there. Yes, he did say that. Everyone blamed Armon first. And I want to say something too about the roast. The roast wasn't the reason why the show got canceled. The roast was the reason why it went on an early hiatus, earlier than what it was supposed to, because it was supposed to come back the following Monday. But all the drama surrounding it got, all the drama about TGIF got the show canceled. That's what got the show canceled. It wasn't Armon's roast. So I just wanted to repeat that again. But it was the reason why they went on an early hiatus, because it was like, oh, y'all ninjas can't even get along and y'all work on Zoom. So, we're just going to go on an early hiatus because we're going to go on one anyway. Let's just extend it out another week. Ooh, thank you, Michelle, because I'm going to go ahead and play the video. And shout out to Make It Make Sense, because he actually pulled this up on Twitter. I believe it was this one. All right, let's go ahead and watch it, you guys.
Issue a statement. Things were, and he's supposed to be revealing his sources because sometimes they would not be accurate. And that would sometimes get us in some kind of trouble. Like, we've had to apologize. One time he called this woman that's super popular on TikTok, like she was like a race, like a Trump supporter, and she's actually someone that fights against all the stuff that Trump says. Yeah. And it made us so ridiculous all over TikTok. And then I had to come back the next day and apologize and all that kind of stuff. So, but that does happen on shows. But I would say the 6-month thing, he had got caught texting Nene saying, fuck Claudia. And at the time, we were in a good place. This is before things were left. That's what really made us, it made me look at him different, if media work, all three of us work together, and we just see a text, and then I get a screenshot that you're fuck Claudia, but we have to be smiling on the show. It was hard for me to get over that. I did eventually.
I'm so confrontational. I would be like,
we had a couple of meetings.
So this whole thing started with Al sending a text to Nene.
Yes.
Miss Leaks that leaked. Got back to you.
She screenshotted it.
Oh.
And sent it back to him. He got scared thinking, oh shit, she's probably going to send it to Claudia. So he had to come clean. So I said, just so I know, can you send it to me so I have it? And he was dumb enough to send it. So then I have it.
Got you.
And then he also did this whole thing on his page. I just felt like, I don't think, because if you're friends with someone that I'm not friends with, that's fine. We don't have to all be.
Yeah.
But what I do if there's two people that don't really rock with each other is I just be like, hey, just don't talk about my friend badly around me. I don't hear it.
Right.
And then tell them I don't, because this makes things complicated.
Yeah. Well.
So that's the confusing part, you guys, because initially Claudia made it seem like someone, and I know I admitted too, I was all like, oh, Nene would send that to Claudia? Why would, have a good one, Princess. Why would Nene send that to Claudia? They're not friends. That doesn't make any sense. Like, why would, Nene do that? And so the way Claudia set it up was like, yeah, I got this text message and, and the screenshot sent to me, Al calling me a bitch or whatever. Now, here's the thing. Come to find out, Claudia was all like, oh, no, well, he felt guilty because Nene sent him a screenshot, and so then he sent it to me. Why would he send you a screenshot of what he sent to Nene? That sounds so stupid. I think what happened was that Al told you he had a conversation with Nene, and he called you bitch, right? He admitted to calling you that word, the B word, and then you got upset and mad, and he was like, okay, well, and you thought he was probably talking more shit about you. And so then what happened was that he was like, no, this is all I said to Nene. And so he sent a screenshot of his conversation and then sent it to you. This is all of what I'm thinking, you guys. He admitted he had a conversation with Nene, told her what was up. She was like, I don't believe you. I think you said more than what you're saying. He was like, all right, well, what I'll do is screenshot my conversation with Nene. I'll send it to you so then you know this is all I said. Now, that makes a lot more sense than Nene sending a text. That just didn't make any sense to me. Nene is not your friend. Why would she do that? And now it's coming out your own mouth like, oh, well, he sent it to me. You did all that talking, made it seem like you caught Al talking about you. No, he admitted to it. Now, am I saying that's right, that Al, if that's your friend, he should be calling you all this and that? No. However, he came to you and was all like, hey, this is what I said. This is everything, blah, blah, blah. Oh, let's go ahead and get them likes up, first of all. Definitely. Thank you, Miss Curiosity. But yeah, he admitted to it. That was it. So why did you try to frame it like you secretly caught him talking about you? He admitted to what he said about you. That's what I don't like. That's very sneaky. You putting it in a way that made it seem like he's doing all this avert shit behind your back. No, he told you what he said. Now, you could either accept his apology or not, but it seemed like you accepted it. No, it never happened. Al spoke with Nene after he got fired, and they both called me. It's no secret. I've spoken about it previously. Yes. And I was going to say, I was watching Michelle earlier this morning, and she said, like, she was on a 3-way call with Al and somebody. She said originally somebody else, but now that makes sense. It was Nene. That's who the other person was. And so, yeah, the way that Claudia is making it seem like she caught him or something to that effect, that was a whole lie. Now, again, am I saying that's right that Al was talking about you behind your back or whatever? But we got to go back to the situation of what happened. Remember, Claudia was going in because Nene was upset that, she was like, I've done so much for these girls, and all they did was send me flowers. They all just pitched in on some funky ass flowers. That was it. And so Claudia was all like, basically saying that she needed to be grateful and all this other shit. And Nene came out, posted a video, and was just like sobbing and crying because it's all like, damn, like, I just lost my husband, and then you're going off on me saying I'm ungrateful and everything. And that's when Al had posted the thing on his Instagram, basically apologizing to his friend Nene. And then that's when Al got the boot. And then that's when, and Michelle, remember we talked about it, Michelle was the one who let us know, like, Al got fired, and then she helped him get his job back. And rightfully so. Because remember, they try to replace Al with Christian Keys. This was before all the Christian Keys drama and stuff like that. But, they replaced him with Christian Keys, but then Al, came back. So it is what it is. Claudia's lying, trying to save face because she lost the show she stole from Nene. Yeah, and shout out to Michelle again because she's the one, when Funky Dineva, get introduced, he does this thing, and that was Nene's thing. because she stole that the show idea from Nene. That's why y'all gotta like trademark, put a patent on your stuff. You can't let people know your next move, because once they know your move, yeah, it's over for you. So going with Claudia, I wanted to go ahead and play the next clip from that live. And basically, she talks about how she feels betrayed from Funky Dineva. So we're going to go ahead and talk about it.
In your face, you were the one getting blamed for the ending of the show.
I mean, of course it was, made me feel fucked up.
And hit that like button too. Thank you.
In your face, you were the one getting blamed for the ending of the show.
I mean, of course it was, made me feel fucked up and sad. And like, damn, like, I was like, damn, this was all going on, like, behind, like, this was all really going on. Because actually when Funky left, I thought we were cool. And then he made a video where I'm like, I guess we're not cool, because like, it was sad when he left. And then he made a video to us saying like, he still loves us. And then within a week, it was all my fault. And I didn't know, I hate when I don't know someone's feeling away, but we're still carrying on like all this good.
Oh,
and then later on you hear like all these
that's how you feel about me?
things that I didn't know, and I wish I would have known sooner, you know. And it was hurtful, but what the fuck? Like, what can I do? I mean, I don't want to change my personality to turn into, well, fuck it, I ain't gonna look up to nobody anymore.
No,
About it. I
absolutely
don't,
not.
because I'm not. That's not me. I am someone that, like I said, I actually enjoy. I enjoy like bringing opportunities to people. I love saying, "Hey, can I call you right now? Guess what, bitch? I got this. You know, I got stuff for you, or whatever. Or can you work on this project?" Yeah, of course I felt. I didn't know that this was all going on. I didn't know that these conversations were happening. So, of course, I felt like.
Speak louder, Claudia.
Of course, I felt like. I don't know. I was disappointed. I was. That shit was hurtful.
So
but can I say this?
Yes.
A captain always goes down with the ship.
Yeah.
I need you to know that.
Mm-hmm.
So because you got blamed in the end.
How was the same person that created it?
I know.
The bad guy.
It's ridiculous.
Who takes their own show?
Who takes their own show?
Nobody.
And I would love to have gone 10 years. I wanted to get, before Funky left, we were so close to actually getting to the studio.
Wow.
So we were at the pinnacle, like the height, the numbers were the highest that we've ever had. And I just want to be clear about this. I know people talk about the numbers. Our numbers came from 17 different platforms. So yes, our numbers on YouTube when Funky left definitely went down on YouTube. And then we spiked here and there, but it wasn't, that.
Same.
But also, our numbers when he was on the show were never as high as his numbers. So when he says he took his fans with him, like, well, you didn't bring them where were they when we were on the show? Like, we needed 10,000 of those people, But I think he's good over there doing his show. I think he likes being a one-man show, and that's fine. I like being part of a team. And that's not to say one is better than the other. Like some people, I like being on a track team. Mm-hmm. I like being on a bowling team. I like being I like that. And some people work better solo. But yeah, it definitely felt fucked up. But
so it sounds like a bunch of ego from what I'm.
Go back and look at the roast about me. They talk about I can't have kids and all kind of shit. They talk about my fertility.
Yeah, so and I'm getting to a point. So he made a comment on the fact that he thought it was basically disgusting. He talked about Chloe Bailey, and I wonder if he felt like that was as disgusting as well. So as someone who was on the show, what did you feel about the double standards that people had, that your co-host had?
Here's the thing. When people like someone, none of the shit that they do bothers them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's not disgusting. It's funny. Mm-hmm. Because you can clearly go back to 3 years of TGIF and find times when we talked, well, some people talk real bad about people and said some really...
Gross. He said it was gross. That's right. So, yeah.
TGIF talked about all kinds of shit that was gross.
Including him. When he talked, didn't he call Chloe ugly?
He did, and that was nothing we had to apologize.
To me, that was way more gross than anything that... Absolutely.
It got crazy. And just like Alan, he would complain about someone, the level of the show is down since Armon is here. But when Funky was on the show, and we would have conversations about shooting behind dumpsters, sex parties.
Who went to the bathroom behind the dumpster?
Well, one of the cast members said, talked about his own experience. Like, and it was a running joke on our show. But my point is to say, we had a lot of immature
banter.
That when everyone was in a good place, it
cool.
was funny. It was hilarious. Yeah. It was, oh my God, I can't. I remember one time that Funky went in on Serena Williams' makeup, right? Years later, when he's gone, and then the same topic comes up, I was like, oh, I cannot disrespect a black queen. Like, he was on this, women empowerment thing. And I was just like, but who are you right now?
Because you were laughing at it just...
But it's again, it depends on the source. Like, if I like you, I'm going to be like, oh, that's just funny. If I don't like you, I'm going to be like, wow, that's so immature of you. I just like the same energy being cast.
Now, Claudia does have a point with this. Because it seemed like Al was more offended after, his friend would say some of the similar things and he would just excuse it or laugh at it or think it's funny. But as soon as he had a falling out with everybody, oh, he was like, oh, I would never talk about this and all this other. Like, come on now. Now, Al, you playing games. And so she has every right to go in on him like that. You know, it's the truth. Like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, as they say. You was okay with it, but now that it's somebody who you don't like saying it, oh, it's too much. And I feel that we do sometimes excuse what our friends say. There's stuff that's not right that they say, and we laugh at it, and then we think about it. We're like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have co-signed or I shouldn't have laughed at it. But in a way, if I don't like you and you saying something that is offensive to me, yeah, I'm gonna take it in a different way than if my friend says it. Now, is it right? No, but it is what it is. And I think when Claudia was talking about Funky, how it seemed like everything was good, and then when he came back and, you know, hit her with that. Now, what I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard what their falling out is that, or something that had happened. You know how, oh, this is awkward to talk about it because I never really talked about when Funky had tore up Michelle's house. But you know how Michelle, and I know Michelle done, shout out to Michelle A.T.L.E. and Brown. She done went through years of therapy for this. But you know when he tore up her house and stole her washer and dryer, right? Well, they was on one of them Zoom calls. Now, I want this Zoom call to leak, right? They was on one of them Zoom calls like they always be on, right? I guess he had to go somewhere. He like ducked out the camera, right? You see how mine is? He ducked out the camera, and then it was all like messy or junky in the background, right? And so she took a screenshot of it and sent it to her friend. Yo, I forgot who told this story. Whoever this content creator was that told this story, shout out to you. I don't believe Michelle told this story, though. I don't think it was Michelle. I want to say it might have been Sherelle. Shout out to Sherelle if it was Sherelle. But yeah, that's what they said. Like, it was all messy and junky in the background, and she took a screenshot of it and then sent it to all of her friends. And so that's what the drama was between them. And I guess she said something like, oh, Michelle did. Okay, sorry, Michelle. Yeah, Michelle did. And said something to the effect like, oh, well, Michelle, you know, was right about you, or something to that effect, because he was living foul. That's what it was. Someone who did Jamaica. Okay, it was Michelle. Yeah. Yo. Oh my God. So again, the drama was going on before Armon. So no, not everything was Armon's fault, right? He's the least to blame for the issues. But that makes sense now. Yeah, of course he's gonna have a problem with you screenshotting. What's up, Carolyn? Screenshotting the way he lives and then making fun of him. You don't do that to your friend. Oh, he lives in squat. Ooh. Oh man. And y'all know Funky Kryptonite is Michelle. Like, no matter what, like, he gets pissed. But here's my thing. He also goes back at Michelle too as well. So I'm all like, yeah, if you get in the ring with somebody who roasts you, oh, you're going to go back and forth. That's it. That's all. So, I mean, yeah, sometimes the other person drags might be too much or it seems like it's going too far. But when you get in the ring with somebody, you got to expect what they're going to say. You got to be able to take it. But yeah, that is his kryptonite right there. Man. And then, you know, speaking of the whole, you know, like when he was living in Michelle's place, right? If you're saying that you make between 38 to 50K a month, like, what was going on? Like, why couldn't you have your own house? Like, that confuses me right there. You know, a lot of YouTubers, and a lot of people know this, a lot of YouTubers aren't transparent about how much money they make. And should everybody know your business? No, of course not. But some of these YouTubers will have you believing they're making, millions a year. They're not making millions a year. No. So I can tell who's making money and who doesn't, and who's exaggerating how much money they make and stuff like that. But if you're making all that money and your finances aren't like y'all say, oh, you live in your uncle house, blah, blah, blah. You in your uncle house. You in your uncle house. Okay, well, do y'all know anything about generational wealth? You got to remember, I'm the oldest out my siblings and my cousins. So when everybody passes away that's older than me, I get all their stuff. So, generational wealth, right? Hopefully they don't pass away, knock on wood, y'all. But you know what I'm saying? It's completely fine when y'all say that. I pay my little rent and that's it. You ain't seen my uncle kick me out the house yet, right? So I'm good. But yeah, I just always wondered that. Like, damn, Anyway, let's rewatch the clip because I feel like I got sidetracked. Let's rewatch a little bit of it and then I'll give my commentary on it.
In your face, you were the one getting blamed for the ending of the show.
I mean, of course it was, made me feel fucked up and sad. And like, damn, I was like, damn, this was all going on, behind, this was all really going on. Because actually when Funky left, I thought we were cool. And then he made a video where I'm like, I guess we're not cool because it was sad when he left. And then he made a video to us saying he still loves us. And then within a week, it was all my fault. And I didn't know, I hate when I don't know someone's feeling away, but we're still carrying on all is good.
Oh,
and then later on you hear all these
that's how you feel about me?
things that I didn't know, and I wish I would have known sooner, and it was hurtful, but what the fuck, what can I do? I mean, I don't want to change my personality to turn into, well, fuck it, I ain't gonna look up to nobody anymore.
No,
Absolutely
I don't,
not. Because I'm not, that's not me. I am someone that, like I said, I actually enjoy, bringing opportunities to people. I love saying, hey, can I call you right now? Guess what, bitch, I got this, I got something for you, or whatever. Or can you work on this project? Yeah, of course I felt. I didn't know that this was all going on. I didn't know that these conversations were happening. So, of course I felt like...
Speak louder, Claudia.
Of course I felt like, I don't know, I was disappointed. I was, that shit was hurtful.
So can I say this?
Yes.
A captain always goes down with the ship.
Yeah.
I need you to know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you got blamed in the end...
How was the same person that created it
I know.
the bad guy?
It's ridiculous.
Who takes their own show?
Who takes their own show?
Nobody.
Okay, that's enough because I'm getting motion sickness. So I wanted to talk about the whole, I created the show, I got the show. And I believe what Claudia is saying. Not taking anything away from her. I created the show. I helped, what, blah, blah, blah. Now, unfortunately, she didn't do the paperwork right because she don't own the intellectual property, right? She didn't do the paperwork right. That's her fault. But I do believe that she suggested Al, Gary, who's not on there and who was on there originally, and Funky Dineva. Okay, good. You suggested them on the show. You got them the show. But at the same time, the way that it comes off with Claudia is like, oh, I helped you poor people, patting them on their head. That's what I'm doing to the camera. Oh, it helped you in like a very high brow. And it's all like, come on now. And again, the show that you stole from Nene. But you're doing all this and you're basically sunning them at the same time. You can't have it both ways. It's either like, hey, I helped put them on. Unfortunately, it didn't work out and you move on from it. But you can't do this. I just try to give people a job. And she goes like, I just don't know if I can, sometimes I just don't want to help people get jobs anymore because I'm worried. She said this multiple times before. That wasn't new what she was saying. But the whole, I'm afraid to almost help people because then they'll turn on me and all this other stuff. Listen, I get it. I've helped a lot of people on YouTube and they turn their backs on me. Even some of them are in the chat right now. So anyway, so as the world turns, but you got to get over it. Like, stop telling us the same story about how they did this and that. Stop it. You got to stop that at the end of the day. You just got to be like, dang, it didn't work. But according to Carlos, you guys are working on a whole different show, a whole different concept. So if you're working on that Black charity, right? If you're working on a whole different show, a whole different concept, then let that be. Like, okay, not working anymore, moving on to the next thing. But you keep bringing it up in this sad story about how you try to help them. It's not making you look better. It's making you look like, yeah, you're sunning them and like they should be lucky. If it wasn't for them, they wouldn't have a job. That's what it's coming off as. Funky should be happy because I got him a job. Al should be happy because I got him a job. Listen, anybody could have suggested a show like that. Anyone could. It wasn't like it was groundbreaking. Is it bigger than what I'm doing? Yes. So I can't hate on you. But I can't say it was like groundbreaking. It's like, especially with the show being on YouTube, yeah, it's like every other damn show on YouTube, you know? Every show say they, in celebrity gossip field, say they spilling some tea. Like, it's not anything new or extraordinary. It's just, you know, it is what it is. Like, we gotta cool down on like, I gave these people a show and all this other stuff. Like, all right, okay. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure they said thank you. What more can they do for you? Ooh, you said it all about the do. Wow. Well, I would say that, except with All About the Tea, everybody else showed their face, and everybody else was and her specifically was just an avatar. That's it. She was just an avatar. But I see what you're saying. Definitely, it's a little knockoff-ish. I can see that. I ain't gonna lie. But I think, yeah, Nene was more of her influence in the concept. Especially making sure that it was two gay males. Yeah, I could see that. It was more of Nene than anything else. No, 82, she was right to say it when she's getting trashed by them. And yeah, and here's the thing. I'm saying that, yeah, she has a right to clap back, but she has been saying this more than just once. She said this multiple times. She has said this multiple times about, I just try to make sure everybody can work. I just try to make sure they can get a job and they can get some money in their pocket. She says this too, money in their pocket. She has said this multiple different times, not just one time. She said it multiple times, and she repeats herself. And so when it comes off, it's like, yeah, it does come off a little asshole-ish and stuff. And granted, let's even take this into account. If they were trying, if Funky and, because I heard the other rumor was that Funky and Al were trying to set her up and get her fired so then they could replace her with Nene. Now, if that is true, that is some big, you know, because how dare you, a show that I created and got y'all on and y'all trying to replace me with Nene, who's my nemesis. Yeah. But again, I did not hear that out of Claudia's mouth. I've heard that in the YouTube streets that was something that was going on. Because again, for me, like when you say somebody did you dirty or they did X, Y, and Z, you got to tell me exactly what they did. Because a lot of the times Claudia goes like, well, I don't want to put everything out there. You know, I don't want to do this or that. And it's all like, okay, you either put it all out there or you don't put anything out. And now you put out the Zoom calls, but again, it was only partial. We want to see the whole thing. And I know some people in here are saying that I'm covering up for Al and stuff like that. I'm not covering up for Al. Like, I already dragged Al in the beginning. Y'all just missed that part. But I already dragged him in the beginning. So, you know, and hit that like button, by the way. Got him out the way. But again, with somebody like Claudia doing a lot of talking, yeah, this, more than less, we're going to talk about him. Just like Funky Dineva. Initially, his words about Armon, I agree with. And I still do agree with them. But he's kind of absolving himself from the drama, like, oh, I don't know anything. And it's all like, well, you were there. You know about the drama, right?
You know what I'm saying? I was disappointed. I was disappointed. I was like, y'all hosts need y'all job. I was like, Armon, this is great next level for you. Al, you don't work in TV. And granted, you know, Claudia does her thing. She does well. But Claudia does like movies and stuff. That's gig work. You know, you get a gig here. You may not work for a few months. You get another gig. It was a nice, stable paycheck for everybody. I'm not reading. It's a nice tip. And I'm like, y'all check up over dumb shit. Who can't use an extra $250,000?
Baby, I don't care what you
know,
make.
so I just feel like it was a dumb reason. And honestly and truthfully, I feel like the person that lost the most in the situation was Armon, because he had the most to gain from it.
See, initially I didn't see anything wrong from it, right? But then seeing Armon's video and realizing, okay, well, how come you didn't mention anything that was going on previously? You just said, oh, there was some text message and I thought we got over it. You can't tell me, even though Claudia, made it seem like a big deal with that text message thing, you can't tell me that was the only reason why they had beef or drama. There had been things going on for a long time. And y'all just want to play like, oh, I don't know anything. Funky was a problem too, right, Kiki? Yeah. They was all at fault at some point. And let's be honest about something. A lot of people are putting them on blast about, yeah, you thought y'all was making $250K. Funky Dineva put that lie out saying they were making $250K. Realize Armon was telling the truth by saying it was $70K. It was all like the others were making $70K. But I do believe something else. And I think this was Couture Bay who said it. Couture Bay was all like, I think Al possibly was making more. And when does a lot of work drama happen? When somebody is making more money than the other person. Because if you're all getting paid the same, you don't care. You don't give a damn. But if somebody's making more money and you feel like they don't bring enough to the show or they're not bringing anything to their job and they're making more money than you, I could see why you would have a problem with that. Because there's no way in hell you're going to be making more money than me, but then you're not putting in as much into the job as I am. There's a lot going on with that contract. And let's also say this too. A lot of people will say, oh no, they all make the same. Oh, we all make the same. Well, if I know that, if y'all all want to say y'all all make the same, right? But I'm making more than you, I'm going to just let y'all think what y'all think. I'm going to let y'all think we all make the same. I'm not going to come out and say, oh no, we make different. Because at the end of the day, has anybody showed their contract? Has anybody showed their paycheck? Have we seen anybody taxes? We don't really know. Funky Dineva was the only person who said, it was $250K a year. Because don't forget, Funky Dineva was also having his manager go back and forth about the contract dispute. So you can't tell me that Al and Claudia don't have a manager too. So you're thinking that if you have a manager who you have to pay some of your salary to or pay for their services, that you're just going to say, yeah, $250K is enough? No, you're going to make sure that there's something extra so you can pay your manager too as well. Pay your PR, all that. You're going to make sure there's enough money to cover everything. So the $250K, I could see Funky Dineva probably getting that, but I think the others probably made more or less. I don't think they're all being honest about how much money they made. Let me ask you guys though. Put a 1 in the chat if you think they made all the same amount of money. Put a 2 in the chat, you think they made a different amount. Let's go.
Kamala Harris, why is she in my DM? Huh? No. She stay in my DM. Oh, y'all be thinking I'm playing. I'm not playing. Kamala Harris. She in my DM, bitch.
See, a lot of people putting 2s in the chat. Yeah. I just don't believe they was all making the same amount. Oh, she was trying to get she was trying to get that breakfast job hosting gig. Yeah, we ain't forgot about that. She was still out looking for, because to me, if TGIF is working out for you, you love your job and stuff like that, then why are you trying to get on the breakfast? Because obviously it was a better opportunity, more visibility, it was going to raise your stock. She understood the concept. She understood what was going on. Claudia is not dumb. I've always said Claudia is a hustler. She knows how to get booked for a job. Honestly, she should do. Here's the thing, Claudia, if you're listening, and I know you are, if I see another Zoom call release, I know you listening. Claudia, this is what you should do. You should do women empower. If I was a woman, I would do this. You should do a women's empowerment summit and teach women in the industry how to book gigs and book jobs. From there, you get a booking agency that helps different models and actresses or whatever get jobs. Then you're more behind the scenes instead of in front of the scenes, which in turn, you make more money because you're recouping all that, right? You offer them management and all this other stuff, get them booked on come on, Claudia. This could be your job right here. I mean, you're so great at giving people jobs. She should have she should have her own agency, like some kind of booking agency, and help people get jobs. Which need passes, y'all go to hell for that one. Y'all ain't right for that. I know we see her on the Tubi. We see her. No, I've always said Claudia gets jobs. I ain't been on Tubi. Shit, she doing something better than me. Oh yeah, Ronnie, she definitely need to give me my cut. Run me my money. Right. But we gotta be honest, that's what she should be doing. Teach people how to get booked for jobs. It doesn't have to be a women empowerment. It can just be one of those summits or whatever, right? Have her an agency where she's helping you get booked for different jobs. That'd be perfect. You can be in 2v2. I don't understand why she hasn't even. I would have thought a long time ago she would have thought that. And I do think another thing, I'm gonna give Claudia her flowers because I know she ain't gonna watch the whole video and watch me give her flowers. I think Claudia would have been better than just hilarious for that Breakfast Club job. She would have been 100 times better than just hilarious. If just hilarious is not telling jokes, she can't do anything else. Just hilarious was not a good fit for that job. I think Claudia, especially during an election year, would have been a lot better than just hilarious. Who do y'all like better? Who would have been a better fit for the job? Claudia or just hilarious? And you got to pick those two. We can't go with a third part. No, it got to be either one of those two. Y'all gotta, go within the rules of the game. Just hilarious. If it's not somebody who is like a popular celebrity, she can't really interview them. Like when it comes to a politician or somebody in sports, or she's not well versed in that. Okay, some of y'all saying Jess. Okay. She has a younger audience. Okay. So they were trying to hit a demographic with Jess. But I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I don't really like the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club, it used to be a hot show. Don't get me wrong. That show used to be hot. They used to get all the interviews and stuff like that. But I just don't like the Breakfast Club no more. I don't like it. Whenever they would have an interview premiere, I would watch it. Like now, I don't really care. I just see the viral clips on whatchamacallit online, and I might talk about it, but I'm not really feeling the Breakfast Club no more. It's like womp womp womp. What you say about Wendy Williams, Margot? That's with these imbeciles, right? Right. Shout out to Wendy Williams, man. And I'll be honest, I wasn't like a huge fan of Wendy Williams, but I feel like there is something missing with this whole gossip tea sector thing. Something is missing there. Envy is a crook. Yeah, he definitely is a crook. Allegedly, because he liked to sue. Allegedly, in my opinion, he's a crook. Listen, as soon as Envy said, because you know his friend went down, right? The knockoff Big Pun dude, he went to jail and all that, right? And got indicted. Well, here's the thing. There's a video of Envy saying, yeah, he taught me how to, flip homes without even having to put your money down. We're talking about DJ Envy, right? How do you flip homes and buy homes without using your money? So you're telling me you don't put any of your money down, but you flip homes, and that's how you make money, but you put nothing down. Is that real? You say it's called subject to. Is that what it's called? So you don't put no money down. And on top of that, you don't have no experience. No money down, no experience. You can't flip and make money if you don't put any money down. But the thing is that they were having people invest their money into these different properties and stuff like that. This is where they got in trouble. They were having people invest money and then wasn't paying the people correctly. That's where all of this was, coming from. Like, yeah, I don't know about that. It differs from state to state. I'm gonna have a real estate agent get on here, y'all. Who in real estate? I know Michelle has property, but I wouldn't say she's a real estate agent. We need a real estate person to explain how you flip a home without putting any money down. And my credit is negative 300, so I can't flip nothing. Yeah, I can't even flip it and reverse it. All it takes is one home, take profits, add to the next. I can't speak for Envy, but it's possible. Okay. Well, see, I know about that, Michelle. That's right. But he's saying, yeah, you can do it too. And you don't need any money. Like, he's literally telling people you can do it without any money. Like that. Just like, did y'all watch that Miss Cleo movie? We're going to talk about that a different day. But Miss Cleo, right? Call me now for your free reading. But those readings weren't free. And they were literally just charging random people and kept recharging them over and over again. And that's where the whole Ponzi scheme and everything came from. So this is what it's coming, because if you tell me, somebody who's not a homeowner, hey, you can go ahead and flip a home and you don't need no money down and I don't have any credit or anything that you can use, I know it's a scam. That's it. But it is what it is. Anyway, going back to, I was about to call it wine is the new tea. My bad. TGIF. TGIF Friday, right? The show on Fox Soul. Fox Soul is still very much struggling. They ain't got nobody to replace that show. I mean, in a way, y'all, I'm not even gonna lie. They needed the show. They needed it. They needed that show. Without that show, they're nothing. Oh, real quick, shout out to Mad Beast. Yes, follow Mad Beast on Twitter. That's where and thank you for recording those live streams, by the way. Mad Beast, do you have a YouTube channel or just the Twitter? Oh, you do have followed you. I got you. Okay, I can tag you in the video. And don't worry, I don't watermark my stuff either, so people steal mine. So, you know, it's a part of YouTube. Listen, God got my back. That's what I say. God will return the favor in the end. That's what I always say. But thank you. I appreciate that. And I just followed you. I don't think she saved it. You know how you cannot save the live? I think that's what happened. So you had to record it. I did see while I was on vacation, she went live, but you know, I wasn't thinking about watching it or anything like that. But anyway, they have nothing to replace that show. Remember we looked in the chat and they only had like 5 people watching it? And those 5 people are saying, where's TGIF? Where's TGIF? They messed up. See, they live right now.
Oh, man.
4 people watching. Hold on, let's leave a comment in their comment section. I think you guys should replace TGIF with a new show. My name is AT2. And I would love to produce a new gossip / news show for you. Hope to hear from you soon. Hopefully somebody watching it in the shit. Like, don't judge me, y'all. I'm trying to get me a job. Shit. Because I don't make $70K a year. So any job that they offer me is going to be good. I really did put it in the chat, y'all. I ain't lying. I put it in the chat. Shit. He on his way. Listen. Except I ain't in no straitjacket. You know, that's the difference between me and him. I ain't in a straitjacket. But other than that, yeah, shit. Let me produce a show. I told y'all. Shit, let me go ahead and put my drum over here. Over here playing. Watch, you gonna see all of the other content creators start doing that now. Start pitching their show. I'm telling you, you might as well. They need something to fill in that gap. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I know Joyce better reach out to me. What was her name, y'all? Oh, I looked it up the last week when I was talking to Shawn. Joyce Sampson, right? Oh, I see. What's up, CJ? CJ in the chat. Yeah, go ahead and yeah, y'all. We gonna get us a job. Definitely, we gonna get us a job. I'm gonna have different guests on there. I'm gonna have crazy ass Miss Barbara. Shout out to Miss Barbara. I'm gonna have crazy ass Miss Barbara on there. I'm gonna have Michelle A.T. Brown on there. You know, get a guest hosting with me. Couture Bay on there. Oh yeah, we gonna make sure we all eat. You know, they gonna pay us probably only $200, but hey, it's $200 we didn't have, right? Right, speak it into existence. Shoot, let me hit up Miss Joyce, by the way. You know, I'm going to, it's funny, I'm going to LA in a couple of weeks, so I might try to hit up Shawn and try to pitch him a show. You know, he works in the industry as well, too. Your interview with Shawn was good. Thank you. Thank you. And for those of you who just made it in, I was telling the people earlier that I didn't realize that the response was my interview with Shawn is the catalyst of all the Zoom calls leaking out. I was like, oh, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but now I know. And again, Shawn is welcome to come back on the show. I did hit him up and ask him if he was all right. He made a little joke, and you know, he's okay. He's fine. I think with him, and don't forget, this is not over with. Remember, he said in that interview, if you go back, he said, I'm waiting to see Claudia's next move. And then this will determine our response. And he was all, and I was like, well, how close are you giving to this, whatever evidence or whatever you're going to drop? How long is it going to take? He was like, probably very soon. But it depends on what Claudia does. I'm wondering what it is. Listen, I don't think Al's going to say anything. And I think, at this point, he shouldn't say nothing, just pretend like it doesn't exist. But I am waiting for Shawn. I am waiting to see what he releases. And nothing has been given. Now, if it's something, I'm going to tell you guys this, because y'all probably going to be like, oh, AT2, you going to like drop it for him or whatever. No. Depending on what it is, if it's something like really salacious, I'll be like, no, I'm going to pass on that. Like a video leak or something like that. I wouldn't feel comfortable with posting it unless he came on my show and was all like, yeah, this is blah, 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 and like explained it. Because again, Claudia kind of set up everybody else to be like the fall guy. And it's all like, at least you could be like, yeah, I'm the one that sent it to you. I'm the one that gave it to them, blah, blah, blah. Because you got people looking at them like, oh, you're doing the dirty work for them and stuff like that. Like, Claudia, how are you going to set them up like that? You literally set them up. Again, just like Shawn can do the talking for Al, Claudia can do the talking for herself. That's what I believe, y'all. Claudia sent me a DM talking about, don't we always say Claudia be in the DM? Hold on, before we get out of here, let's do a game. Put a 1 in the chat if Claudia has ever sent you a DM. 30 seconds, y'all. We're going to do a 30. Shut up. It's my show. We do 30-second countdown. Put a 1 in the chat if Claudia has ever sent you a DM. Yo, let me tell you, I was like stupid and dumbfounded because I have this thing where if I'm loyal to you, I'm loyal. So I looked at it as, okay, Claudia, I was all like, Claudia DM'd me and, we clarified a few things. And I was like, okay, cool. I won't talk about her again. I shared the story. I was like, okay, I won't talk about her again. I'll move on. Well, after I had discussed with her and we had a good conversation, she then comments on my video talking about, oh, these are all lies. Where are you getting your information from? And like, I was upset because I was like, yo, I already talked to you. Like, why are you talking about this old video I had already done? Like, I would see if I was still putting out content about you, but then you're going to go ahead and go back to an old video and talk about how I was shading you or whatever. And I'm all like, come on now. And so I realized, oh, well, it's just commentary. She don't really care if you talk about her or not. It keeps her name out there. So I understand the game and I get it. So that's what it is. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get the hell up out of here, but I appreciate y'all. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you already have it. We're on our way to 48K. We ain't there yet, but we're almost close to 48K. I appreciate y'all for being here. I might see if Shawn wants to come back and, his opinion on the leak or not, or if he's going to be quiet. I'll definitely update you guys and let you guys know. But either way, y'all have a great day. Or a great night, I should say. Love one another. Please just be kind to one another. That's the only thing I can say. So much hate in this world. At least try to spread love and positivity. Love y'all. But we out. Deuces, everybody.
Kamala Harris, why is she in my DM? Huh? She stay in my DM.